That's yeah.
All right. Right Honorable Thomas Kofi, you have the floor. We are live also on Facebook. So thank you very much. I hope that the network allows us today to be able to have this engagement. Thank you.
Very well, GS. Thank you for the opportunity. Good evening to you all, honorable members. My name is Honorable. Very well. I believe I come here. Very well. My name is Right Honorable Thomas Kofi, Speaker of Youth Model Parliament. And I'm going to share this with Honorable Salifu Salamatu, Honorable Francis Kasiedu, and Honorable Sika Boateng. They are my co-chair for tonight's program. Once again, good evening to you all, and I believe I can be heard. So we'll just move straight to the rules of engagement of today's activity. Honorable members, this is the Youth Digest series of Youth Empowerment Consortium. And we are discussing a very sensitive topic tonight. Our topic for tonight is our democracy, our pride. Honorable members, each speaker on the flyer will be given 5 minutes to make his submission. Once you are done, I will ask you to land and then move to the next speaker. That said, when we are done, we will take comment from any honorable member who is not on the flyer but has something to tell us. We will then take their submission or their comment, and then we proceed. And so let us have our speakers for tonight. Speakers for tonight, we have Honorable Tepete, quite a number of speakers on the flyer, so I'll just mention their names and then we'll proceed. We have Honorable Tepete, Honorable Mus B. Boanzi, Honorable John Y. Martin, Honorable Joseph Boache, Honorable Tete Isaac, Honorable Elijah Ndonko, Honorable Akalarikum Douglas, Honorable Richard Fiajo, Honorable Abdul, Honorable Daniel Y. Apia, Honorable Peu Dennis, Honorable James Ewutu, Honorable Bismarck Dodeb, Honorable Salifu S. Daniel, Honorable Anafo Gideon, and then the last one, Honorable Sweden Edu. Honorable members, good to have you all. If you heard your name mentioned, good to have you all. And once I mention your name to make your submission, you unmute yourself and then you make your submission in 5 minutes. Yeah, so once I mention your name, you make your 5 minutes. If you are done, the other person will continue. Please kindly, if you join and you are not on the floor speaking, kindly mute. Very well. Honorable members, if you just join us, this is the Youth Digest series of Youth Empowerment Consortium. My name is Right Honorable Thomas Kofi, and I am your host for tonight's program. I'm going to moderate the program. Yeah, so honorable members, if we have Honorable Mills B. Bwanzi, Honorable Mills B. Bwanzi. Sorry if I didn't get your surnames right. Once you come, you can mention your surname, your surname or your full name so that we can proceed. If we have Honorable Mills B. Bwanzi. Honorable members, do we have Honorable Mills B. Bwanzi? If you are here, kindly unmute yourself and make your submission. Our topic for discussion tonight is our democracy, our pride. Our democracy, our pride. If we don't have Honorable Mills here, Honorable Tepete, if you are here, kindly make your submission in 5 minutes. Unmute yourself and make your submission. All right, so I can see Honorable Bismarck Dodep. Honorable Bismarck, if you can hear me, unmute yourself and make your submission in 5 minutes.
All right, thank you, Mr. Host, and our Speaker of Parliament. Thank you for this opportunity. As the topic goes, our democracy, our pride. It's a very interesting topic, and I asked myself that how can your democracy be your pride? So I got to realize that democracy, as we being different people having different ideas, when we bring out suggestions and find a valid solutions to a certain problem, at the end of the day, we end up being happy with the decisions we've taken, other than being in an autocratic system where a single person would be deciding whatever we want to do, whether we are okay with it or we are not okay with it. So it's a very nice topic this evening as we are coming to tackle it. So checking our country, for instance, Ghana, we started democracy, what I know, and I stand to be corrected, in 1992. That is when we decided to end the coup d'etats and other things, leading to autocratic government. And ever since that time till now, I think we can boast of a lot of successful elections and peaceful elections that has even given chance and rules for different political parties and different individuals to also get the chance to rule as president. So if not for democracy, I don't think these things would have been able to favor us. We would have still been in the coup d'etat era and other things. And I think those things don't help the improvement of a country. So being a country with democracy, we would some point in time be very happy with the decisions we do take. And also, if you have no respect for the dignities of others, or no respect for the sovereignty of other countries or even your country, you cannot claim to champion a democracy. And as such, as a country, if we don't champion all these things, have the respect for other people's opinion, I don't think we can have a better livelihood or even a better system that we all claim for. So democracy, our pride, bringing up our own ideas, different suggestions, putting them all together, selecting the ones that best fit. I think it's very nice. But one thing is, as a country, we have to also note how we use our democracy. Because some people will be like, because of democracy, I have to speak my mind, how I think, how I suggest, speak it anyhow. Even forgetting that the comments we are making or the suggestions we are bringing can even affect somebody's decision or somebody's will. But due to we having the idea or the mindset that it is about democracy, where anybody else can bring up his or her ideas or even her suggestion, we are good to go. So as a country, if we still want democracy to be our pride, I think we have to focus much on how we also use the word democracy and use the freedom we have in sharing our own thoughts, that it wouldn't affect other people's opinion. Because you can, at the end of the day, speak the truth, which at the end of the day wouldn't affect anybody. So when we look at our political scenes right now, being partisan, the NPP can talk against the NDC can talk against the NPP, checking things that some point in time, whatever they say or some of the things that they say doesn't really shows of good character, but due to democracy, we assume it to be so. So I think it's been a pride to us. If care is not taken, it can cause some one or two issues tomorrow. So we shouldn't just focus on the good things democracy is bringing, but also we should sometimes focus. So yeah, a lot of things. And also, let's take the media space for example. When one compares our media landscape today to what we looked at in the beginning of the Fourth Republic, there is not just a growth in, let me say, the numbers, but also a rich diversity of opinions that are shared across this expanded landscape. This is no danger of discerning voices not being heard on any subject. It is vigorous media. So some people use the media in the form of democracy to say things that aren't supposed to be so. But I think when we use democracy very well, we will always be proud of it. We don't be like the president or people in power can just dictate for us. But having parliament, something that we want to bring, the parliament will also sit down, look into it. If things are okay, fine. If things are not okay, fine. I think with those things, we can still be happy, and also we can still boast of having a nice democracy. And I think when we continue like this as future leaders or future generation leaders, it will really help our country and also help ourselves as individuals and citizens of the country to enjoy the democracy our forefathers fought for. So without much ado, Mr. Speaker, in order for other speakers to also get time to give us what they want, I would like to end here so that we get time to listen to the other speakers as well.
I don't know what you're sending, Will. That was a very insightful. Kindly hold on. We'll come back to you. Get honorable members. If you just join us, this is the Youth Digest series of Youth Empowerment Consortium. My name is Right Honorable Thomas, Speaker Model Parliament. And tonight we are discussing yes, we are discussing our democracy, our pride. Our democracy, our pride. Let me quickly indicate that we have senior members in our midst. We have, I can see Honorable Kaiser Raphael, our top intern. He's also in our midst, senior man, if you can hear me. Yes, and we also have our deputy speaker in the person of Right Honorable Etonam Isaac, also in our midst. Yes, honorable members, if we have Honorable Joseph Boache in our midst. Honorable Joseph Boache, if you are with us, kindly unmute yourself and make your submission.
Okay. Good evening, honorable speakers. It's unfortunate. My name is Azanyore Ibrahim Awelembi. I think when they were designing the flyer, a mistake occurred there. So I'll just step in. The image there is mine, but the name doesn't reflect that way. So
very well.
Can I proceed, Mr. Speaker?
Very well. Sorry for you can proceed. You have 5 minutes to make your submission.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, so Honorable Speaker, esteemed dignitaries, fellow youth representatives, and citizens, those who are following us, I bring you greetings from Zebile constituency. Yes, I'm representing Zebile. As we gather here today to reflect on the excess of our democracy and the pride it instilled in us as a Ghanaians, it is actually imperative that we pay a homage to the towering figures who spearheaded our nation's quest for independence. Among them stands Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, in fact, a visionary leader whose indomitable spirit and unwavering determination paved the way for the Ghana liberation from colonial rule. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, alongside his dedicated cadre of subordinates, actually waged a restless struggling against the forces of oppression and exploitation. There was not just for political sovereignty, but for emancipation of the Ghanaian people from the bones of colonialism and the vestige of colonial mentality. I think through their courage, their resilience, and the sacrifice, they ignite the flame of independence that continues to burn brightly in our hearts today. It is actually fitting, therefore, that we celebrate the achievement of our democracy. We do so in the remembrance of those who laid the foundation upon its stands, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, in fact, a bold vision of a free and prosperous Ghana, guided by the principle of social justice and economic empowerment. In fact, he still remains relevant today as it was during the dawn of our nationhood. As we honor Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's legacy, I also want to emphasize that we also recognize the countless unsung heroes and heroes who labored tirelessly along him in the struggling for independence. I think from the grassroots activists to political leaders, from intellectual to ordinary citizens, each actually play a role in shaping the destiny of our nation. In fact, our democracy indeed is a testament to their collective effort and sacrifice. I think there's no two way about that. It is actually a beacon of hope and inspiration for all who aspire to live in a society founded on the principle of freedom, equality, and justice. Yet, as we revel in the achievement of the past, we must also confront the challenges that lie ahead of us. We cannot afford to rest on our laurels or become a complacent in our pursuit of more perfect unity. In fact, I take that again, that the quest for true independence extends beyond the attainment of political freedom. It actually requires us to confront the myriad socio-economic and environmental injustice that continue to plague in our nation. Therefore, let us pledge ourselves anew to the ideal of democracy and national unity. Let us not draw strength from the legacy of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and his comrades in the arm of confronting pressing needs of this our time. I'm saying that, Mr. Speaker, that we harness the power of democracy to build a brighter future for all Ghanaians, the one that are characterized by peace, the one that are characterized by prosperity, and in fact, the one that are characterized by dignity. Mr. Speaker, with the privilege of democracy, it's actually come with the weighty responsibilities of citizenship. We must not only answer, exercise our right, but also fulfill the duties towards our nation. It is important that, and it's also incumbent that has been upon us to hold the elected responsibilities accountable, to demand transparency in governance, and to actively participate in democracy process. Our democracy, our pride, is actually hinges on our collective commitment to upholding the rule of law. In fact, safeguarding the right of all citizens and promoting inclusivity and equity in decision making. We cannot afford to, be a passive spectators in the face of challenges that threaten the fabric of our democracy. Rather, we must be a proactive agents of change. We should be advocating for, reforms that strengthen democracy institutions and foster civic engagement. Furthermore, Mr. Speaker, as a custodian of our democracy, we must guard against the insidious forces of corruption, nepotism, and impunity. These malpractices erode the trust of people in their government and undermine the integrity of our democracy institution. Mr. Speaker, what I'm saying is that we must stand firm against all forms of malfeasance and ensure that those who are betrayed in the public trust are held accountable for their actions. In excess of our democracy and our pride, we must demand not only the right and freedom we enjoy, but also the responsibilities and obligations that we own one another and the future generation. Mr. Speaker, let me say that we must embrace this responsibility with humility and determination, knowing that the strength of our democracy lies in a collective resolve to uphold its value and principle. Mr. Speaker, because of time, I will end here by saying that may we never forget the sacrifice of those who those who came before us, know the responsibilities that accompany the privilege of self-governance. Our democracy is right. It's also a precious asset. Mr. Speaker, let us cherish it. Ghanaians, let us make it and defend it with all our mind. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Very well. Thank you so much, Honorable. Sorry, I didn't get your name well, but thank you for that wonderful submission. I think it was great and refreshing. Yeah, so honorable members, we still have yes, we have other speakers who are yet to make their submission. And so if you are here, if you're a speaker on the flyer, just raise your hand. And you can hear me, raise your hand so that I just indicate your name, and then you can make your submission in 5 minutes. Very well. Do we have Honorable Daniel? Why appear? Okay, so I can say John Yao Martin. Honorable John Yao Martin. Honorable member, you can unmute yourself and make your submission in 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker of Youth Model Parliament, leadership of both caucuses, General Secretary, Director of Programs, Head of Finance and Administration, colleague YMPs, and other citizens following us on our various platforms. I'm Honorable John Yao Martin, representing the Ishaeso constituency in the Ashanti region. I'm very much grateful for the opportunity to address this honorable house today in commemoration of Ghana's 67th Independence Day celebration on the theme, Our Democracy Up. Speaker, Ghana indeed has to be proud of itself for how far we have prevailed in our democratic systems in the face of many challenges that has confronted us as a nation. Prior to Ghana's democratic transition in 1992, we had one-party rule and military rule. The foundations of our democracy are rooted in the 1992 Republican Constitution, which establishes an independent electoral commission, independent court system, independent legislature, and independent executive, with clearly stipulated mandates, enhancing separation of powers and the prevention of interference from ruling government or the state in exercise of their duties and responsibilities. Right, Honorable Speaker, looking back at the journey so far, we can boldly say and pride ourselves in the description that Ghana indeed is a beacon of democracy and a model to its contemporaries and the community of West African nations. Ghana has faced so many challenges and threats to our democracy, but we have consistently been able to, in each time, surmount them and come out rather stronger and refined. Election disputes that have plunged many African countries in chaos rather gave us a more refined and robust electoral system. The two main political parties in Ghana have both tasted a defeat and victory in the Supreme Court on election petition in 2013 and 2021. Though in both cases of the defeat, both parties were unhappy and disagreed with the ruling of the court, but accepted it in good faith. The context and content of the ruling went a long way in giving the parties basis to strengthen their internal electoral machinery in building a strong and competitive political parties. An election dispute that many feared could shake the foundation of our democracy rather shaped and strengthened our electoral processes. This gave the Electoral Commission the opportunity to review their modus operandi and properly situate their constitutional operations in the laws of the country, which other countries or other nations couldn't have the benefit of enjoying same. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's credential in organizing peaceful elections and ensuring smooth transitions of power cannot be underestimated. Since Africans' consolidation of democracy hinges mostly on elections and smooth transition or transfers of power, with our history, Ghana can be said to be a beacon of a thriving democracy. Indeed, in Ghana, since the inception of the 1992 Republican Constitution, fundamental human rights and freedoms are widely respected. Presence of an excelling free and active media and civil society groups that operate without state interference has been a hallmark. There have been many attempts to safeguard this by continuous amendment to existing laws, introduction and enactment of new laws, and abolishment of laws that are seen inimical to our fundamental human rights, such as the criminal libel law, among many others. In many cases, Ghana has, with finesse, been able to transform most challenges that confronted her into fortunes in building a stronger and robust democracy. We have been faced with many challenges like youth unemployment, high illiteracy rate, pervasive corruption, among many others. Successive governments have continued to work towards reducing these to its barest minimum. The state has spent millions of dollars in introducing policies and setting up offices and systems to deal with these menaces within these years. These policies and systems that were set up to deal with these challenges have come at a high cost to the nation, leading people to say that democracy is expensive. Speaker, looking at the dividends of democracy, I would rather say that democracy is a profitable expenditure. In our democratic expenditures, the nation has benefited in infrastructural development, establishment of strategic institutions, capacity building of our human capital, a national healthcare policy, free education, among others. The most dangerous and treacherous enemy to democracy, Mr. Speaker, which has always been the driving force to destabilization of any nation, is corruption. We cannot say that Ghana has been able to fight corruption satisfactorily, but we can all admit that we are making an attempt. I would rather want to employ the ruling and political class to eschew acts of corruption and commit to fighting it vigorously and purposefully. Mr. Speaker, Ghana goes to the polls once again this year to show the world our appreciation of democracy and give meaning to our pride and the testament of our democratic maturity. I wish to appeal to all stakeholders to commit and ensure a peaceful, free, and fair election and a smooth transition to ice the kick of our democratic credentials. Indeed, this year's election, by all chance, is going to be a historic one, regardless who wins power, thereby raising the stakes so high. We would not be complacent, but rather compliant to the laws. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, I would say
Very well.
that the only way to safeguard our democracy is to avoid the tendency of our individual and political interests getting in the way of the national interest. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make her great and strong. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Thank you so much, Honorable John Martin, for very insightful submission. Yeah, so our next speaker, I'll take Honorable Mohammed Abdul Wali. Honorable Abdul. I don't know if your surname was pronounced correctly.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
Honorable,
Speaker.
yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So kindly, yes, I think yes. So yours is a question. So if we look at the sacrifices of our forefathers, if we look at their patriotism, and then the foundation that they laid for the future generation, I mean, this particular generation, would you say that we are on the right path, or we've derailed from the plans and then foundation that was laid for us? Would you say
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much for this.
Yes. So just on that.
Can you get me,
To make
Mr. Speaker?
Yes. I hope you get my question.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. So just start that and
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Like you rightly mentioned, my name is Mohammed Abdul Wali, the MP for Daman constituency. Looking at our democracy, what of I want to speak in two folds. Firstly, Mr. Speaker, when you look at one aspect of it, you realize that what our forefathers have strived to bet for us, what they have strived to give us today, is no more appreciated. Why? Because our leadership has taken everything for granted. Where you will see them making ideas, making decisions that will benefit their own interests. Sometimes you wonder whether these people are really Ghanaians and they have really seen what our forefathers has gone through. But then, Mr. Speaker, every society where we have the bad, we equally have the good. And so you will see that even with those people who still want to achieve things based on their own selfish interest, you will see that there are few among them who wants to strive for Ghana. One example I can mention, we all know, is Kennedy Ohina Japan, who has been one of the key fighters of democracy and selfishness. Whether you're a party member or not, when you're going contrary to the sacrifices of our forefathers, he comes out against you, irrespective of your philosophy or background. Mr. Speaker, I think I will just stop here and delve into the main agenda of the day.
Very well.
Looking at our democracy, Mr. Speaker, I will say really is a pride to us. Why? Because Ghana, as we all know, is located in West Africa, a region that is characterized by political instability, ranging from coups, conflict, and a whole lot of tensions. But then Ghana stands out as an encouraging success story. Besides, Mr. Speaker, being the first nation in the sub-Saharan Africa to achieve independence from our colonial power, the country has become the epitome of democracy and good governance in Africa following the years of our political changes. And there is no doubt that Ghana is seen as the beacon of hope in West Africa, in Africa, and the world at large. I can categorically say that, Mr. Speaker, without a shred of doubt, that even our masters, that is the Americans, whom we have copied this democracy from, I can say we have gone much ahead of them. Because when you look at what is happening in America, their human rights issues, you really see that they are facing a lot. But then, Mr. Speaker, I want to delve into 5 things. That is, if my time will be much for me. First of all, when you look at our institutional framework, which is the anchor of our Ghana's democracy, this institutional framework has provided for us a lot of institutional framework where we respect and protect the human rights of our people. And that when you look at chapter 18 of the 1992 Constitution, it clearly states, or it clearly establishes the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, whose mandate is to investigate complaints about violation of fundamental rights and freedom, injustice, corruption, and the abuse of power. Mr. Speaker, this institutional framework has provided for us Ghanaians the freedom of expression and equally a right and freedom to do all that we want to do as Ghanaians, unless, of course, it's going contrary to the constitution of our country. That is why today you have over multiple media stations in Ghana, just because of the freedom of expression and the chapter 12 of the 1992 Constitution, which also backtracks this point that it clearly guarantees that the freedom and the independence of the media, underscoring that there shall be no an impediment to the establishment of a private press or media, which clearly states that or means that any person, anybody who wants to establish a media or a press has no legal right to go through any process. When you have the money, your resources, and you want to establish your own media, there's no law that is preventing you from establishing your own media station. And that is why today we have both parties establishing their own media stations, where you have outspoken people establishing their own media stations and press to take the government accountable. Mr. Speaker, one thing I would like to add to is our peaceful transition in Ghana. We have seen in our neighboring countries where sometimes during elections, when people are voted out of power, they refuse to hand over power to the winners of an election. And I want to send my listeners back to 2010 in Cote d'Ivoire, where Laurent Gbagbo, if I'm getting the name right, refused to hand over power to Alassane Ouattara after being defeated in an election, which has generated a lot of post-election violence. This act has led to a loss of life. People lost their life, their property, in a whole lot during this era. Again, Mr. Speaker, I want to again send our minds back to the death of our former president, Atamas. There are two scenarios guiding this, what I've just mentioned.
Yeah, honorable member, you have 1 minute to conclude your debate. So
let me conclude by saying that when you look at the smooth power transfer after the death of John Atamas, you realize that it was peaceful, unlike other countries like Ethiopia, where their Prime Minister Meles Zenawi died in August 2012, and there were speculations about his whereabouts, and it took them several weeks to announce to the public his whereabouts. And again, when you look at Malawi in 2012, April, where the death of the president Bigo was also kept in secrecy just because people wanted to take advantage to come into power. And so, but then when you look at our country, Ghana, you realize that all these things are democratically laid down. You have the provisions in the Constitution that gives you the power, that gives people the power to follow the constitutional mandate of the people to do whatever they want to do. So, Mr. Speaker, on this one, I want to say that Ghana is really a pride. A democracy is our pride and a beacon of hope for Africa, and that we must strive to protect this independent democracy we have. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Honorable Abdul Waliu, thank you for your submission. That was a wonderful submission. Yeah, so honorable members, if you just join us, this is the Youth Digest series of Youth Model Parliament of Youth Empowerment Consortium. And my name is Right Honorable Thomas Kofi, your moderator for the program. Honorable members, if we have Honorable Sweden Edu, Honorable Sweden Edu. Honorable Sweden Edu, if you can hear me, kindly.
All right, so if all right, so much, Mr. Speaker. If I can be heard clearly, I would proceed with my presentation for tonight. All right. So there are lots to be talked about in this short time. So I would endeavor to do my best as I have prepared the house, and also with following us on all our media platforms.
Honorable, kindly hold on. I think that there is a background noise at the end. You may check and then get back. I don't know if
all right.
Okay, you may check and get back.
Okay.
All right. So whilst Honorable Freedom Edu checks his background noise, I'll take Honorable Akalari Douglas. Honorable, if you can hear me, can you unmute yourself and make your submission? And then you correct me on your saying if I didn't get it right. Sorry if I didn't get it. All right.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, good evening, fellow honorable members. I am the person of Akalarukum Douglas, representing the people of Navrongo Central. If I can be heard clear, I'll be glad to proceed with my submission, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honorable member, kindly proceed.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, for the past 32 years of the Fourth Republic have witnessed the sustained period of stability and economic growth in our country. We should be proud of what we have achieved and seek to protect and build on it. That is why, to me, I think the 67th Independent Anniversary celebration on 6th March was with the theme Our Democracy, Our Proud. My growing concern about the deterioration in some aspect of the quality of Ghana's democracy made this aspect of the theme resonate the most with me. In my opinion, the government should have chosen a more appropriate theme. We are at a critical juncture where we must have an honest reflection of the current state of Ghana democracy. And for more important, there are some points of pride to celebrate about Ghana democracy. As I rightly said, the people of Ghana have shown admirably commitment to multi-party democracy. I have regularly argued that as Ghanaians, we have made our commitment and peace with democracy. The evidence is quite clear from the Afrobarometer survey that indeed Ghana have embraced democracy as the preferred way for governing the country. Our support level for democracy remains very strong at 77%. of the most recent Afrobarometer survey, that is September 2022. Again, as per the result of the Afrobarometer survey, our attitude towards democratic norms is admirable. It shows positive dispositioning and collects support for a election as the preferred method for choosing leaders, multi-partisan, and the desire for many political parties. No more than 2 terms for a sitting president, checks on presidential power, and free of the media to report on government activities. These are some of the important points of pride that Ghanaians can celebrate about its democracy. Our commitment is also reflected in the fact that we have had 8 successful elections, 0 of which 2008 and 2016 resulted in the peaceful transfer of power from an incumbent government to an opposition party. Yes, the outcome of 2012 and 2020 became the subject of litigation because at the Supreme Court. But for me, that is another point of pride. Election disputes in other places have been settled violent, and therefore our election contestants must be commended for marching to the court to resolve their dispute on those 2 occasions. I do not argue that act of violence. Overall, our elections have been peaceful. Shortcomings of democracy that I think we should address. Shortcoming of democracy that I think as young people and future leaders of this country we should acknowledge is democracy of pride. I do not doubt our commitment to multi-party democracy. I believe we can gloss over these shortcomings and difficulty because they have the potential to undermine our faith and commitment to democracy. Ghanaians will not opt for non-democratic alternatives, in my strong belief. But when faith and commitment to democracy is undermined, I worry that democratic policies will be used for personal gain. I've captured and said that primarily from the Afrobarometer survey, our support for democracy is high. It's high. Our support for democracy is high. It's high, but the outcome and the satisfaction that we get from democracy is our problem. And as young individuals, corruption in our democratic institution, and then unfortunately other things have been the major concern of the youth and the country as a whole. So as young individuals, the future leaders of this country, I'll be glad if we should look at the shortcomings that democracy has in our lives and in Ghana as a whole, and embrace them and rather make some amendment to the 1992 Constitution, which is the major and the key figure of the democracy in this country, so that development and growth, economic growth, can be achieved. I want to end my presentation with this: our commitment, our challenge. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would like to end here and others will continue.
Very well. Thank you, Honorable Sweden Edu, for such a wonderful submission. So, honorable members, I move to I'll take our next speaker on the flyer. We have Honorable Elijah Donko. Honorable Elijah Donko, if you can hear me, kindly unmute yourself and then make your submission in 5 minutes. Honorable Elijah Donko.
Okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
Honorable Speaker.
Yes, you have 5 minutes.
Good evening, Honorable members. So as this evening, we gather to digest this year our independence theme, our democracy, our pride. Allow me to take you on a reflective journey through the corridors of our democracy. 1. The foundation of freedom in 1957, under the leadership of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana emerged from the shackles of colonialism. Our independence was not merely a change in governance. It was a declaration of our right to self-determination. Honorable Speaker, our forebears laid the foundation for a democratic Ghana, a nation where every voice matters, where the ballot box speaks louder than the sword. This means our forefathers laid a concrete foundation of the democracy we are practicing now. So the pulse of our democracy beats in the heart of ordinary citizens, the market traders, the farmers, the teachers, and the youths. It thrives when we engage, debate, and hold our leaders accountable for the position that we have bestowed or the mandate that we have given them. Let us celebrate the vibrancy of our multi-party system where idea clashes, policies involve, and progress is forged Our multi-party systems allow diverse voices to be heard. It's not about winners and losers. It's about robust debate, policy evaluation, and progress. Our media and civil society enjoys free press and vibrant civil society organization. Whose leaders accountable. They are the watchdogs of our democracies, right, Honorable Speaker? So, the unity amid diversity, our cultural richness. Ghana's cultural diversity, like the Ashantis, Fantis, Gan, Ewe, and more, is our strength. Our festivals, languages, traditions weave a colorful tapestry. Honorable Speaker, our national identity, which is our pride, lies in embracing our difference while standing united. Unity, diversity fosters social cohesion and national resilience. Our tolerance and respect that allow us to celebrate shared heritage while representing our individual beliefs. Our democracy thrives when we listen and learn from one another. Honorable Speaker, the guidance of our justice, our judiciary, the role of the judiciary in our democracy. Our courts interpret laws, ensure justice, and protect citizens' rights. Judges, magistrates, and legal professionals play a crucial role in those implementation and interpretation of our laws. The rule of law. Our pride rests in the impartiality of our legal system.
Yes, I think we lost Honorable Elijah Donko. Honorable Elijah, if you can hear me, can you proceed? Okay. Okay, so we'll take Honorable James Aqua. Honorable James Aqua, if you can hear me, kindly unmute yourself and then make your submission in 5 minutes.
All right, thank you, honorable member. I'm James Auka, youth MP for Utisanya West constituency. Talking about our democracy, my pride. With this, I want to talk a little bit about the democracy or what a democracy country is. I'm sorry, the name on the flyer was James Owutu, and it was a mistake, so I stand to correct it.
Very well.
All right, so democracy, as we've been saying, it is mainly not about voting, but rather democracy is a word where the voice of the people anchor, where the voice of the people is considered in the ruling of each state. And that is what I see democracy to be. And moving on to the theme for our discussion this evening, that is my democracy, my pride. These words resonate deeply within me as I witness the impact of democracy on our life, our communities, and our shared future. Democracy is not mainly a process of voting. It is a spirit that embodies the essence of our collective aspiration and challenges. It is the fortification of our freedom, the assertion of our right, and the foundation of our unity. Now, with this, we are just going to talk about some benefits of democracy. When we know the benefits of a democratic country, that is where we can know how it values us, the importance of it to us. So, I have a first point here listed that democracy empowers us, the citizen, to engage, to debate, and to shape our destiny. It offers us the privilege to voice our concern, to champion causes close to our heart, and to hold our leaders accountable. It is a reminder that each ballot cast, each opinion shared, and each decision made resonate with the power to transform our nation and uplift our society. With this point, as I've explained in a brief or in a nutshell, what it means is that through democracy, we have the right to question our leaders when things are not going right. And we have the right to even bring them on path when they are going wayward from what they have to do. That is one benefit of a country that is enjoying or practicing a democracy. And the second point I have here is within the realm of democracy, inclusivity and diversity drive. It celebrates our differences, honors our traditions, and embrace the richness of our culture. Our democracy is a tribute to the myriad voice and anchor through the corridors of power, a statement to the strength found in our unity met diversity. And the last point is responsibility and trust. With the privilege of democracy comes the responsibility to steward it with care and respect. We must honor the trust placed in us by our forebears and the faith vested in us by future generations. Let us nurture our democracy with integrity, fairness, and compassion, ensuring that it remains a bastion of justice, equality, and dignity for all. In closing, let us pledge to uphold our democracy with pride, to cherish its values and conviction, and to nurture its legacy with unwavering dedication. For in our democracy lies the true essence of our nation, our identity, and our shared destiny. My democracy is indeed my pride, and may it forever shine as a beacon of hope, progress, and unity for generations to come. Thank you, honorable members.
Very well, Honorable Daniel Aqua for
James
a great.
Aqua.
Very well, Honorable James Aqua for such a great submission. Thank you so much. Yeah, so honorable members, if you just join us, this is the Youth Digest series of Youth Empowerment Consortium. My name is Right Honorable Thomas Kofi, and the moderator for tonight. We are discussing our democracy, our pride. Yes, so honorable, some of you, the way you've, okay, so let me have taken honorable. Okay, so we have Honorable Richard Fiajo. Honorable Richard Fiajo.
That's right, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. So if you can hear me, kindly unmute yourself and make your submission.
Good evening, Honorable Right Honorable
Yes.
Speaker.
Yes, you have 5 minutes.
And good evening to my fellow honorable members and our listeners live on Facebook. I will proceed to my submission on the theme, our democracy, our pride. Mr. Speaker, democracy has been a fundamental principle since Ghana gained independence in 1957. It has played a crucial role in shaping the nation's progress, political stability, and social development. Ghana's journey as a democratic nation is a testament to the country's commitment to democratic principles. The theme, our democracy, our pride, encapsulates the theme, our democracy, our pride, encapsulates the collective ownership and pride Ghanaians feel towards their democratic system, as well as the notable achievements and milestones that have shaped Ghana's democratic trajectory. One of the key events that exemplifies Ghana's commitment to democracy is the peaceful transfer of power through elections. Since gaining independence, Ghana has conducted several successful elections, 3 of which, 2000, 2008, and 2016, resulted in peaceful transfer of power from incumbent government to an opposition party. This peaceful transfer of power showcases the strength and stability of Ghana's democratic institutions and the respect for the view of the people. Yes, the outcome of 2012 and 2020 became the subject of investigation at the Supreme Court. But for Ghana as a nation, that is another point of pride. Elections in other places have been settled violently, and therefore our election contestants must be commended for marching to court to resolve this dispute on those occasions than resorting to violence. I am not saying our elections have been completely devoid of violence, but I must say our elections have been peaceful. Ghana has also made significant strides in promoting human rights and ensuring freedom of expression. The country has a vibrant civil society with active participation from various groups and organizations advocating for human rights and democratic values. Freedom of the press is protected, allowing media outlets to operate independently, report on issues, and hold those in power accountable. The theme, our democracy, our pride, also resonates with Ghana's commitment to gender equality and women's empowerment. Ghana has made progress in promoting women's participation in politics and decision-making roles. The country has implemented affirmative actions policies resulting in increased representation of women in parliament and other leadership positions. This inclusive approach to democracy highlights Ghana's commitment to ensuring equal opportunities for all citizens. Furthermore, Mr. Speaker, Ghana has a robust judicial system that upholds the rule of law and ensures justice for all. The judiciary plays a crucial role in safeguarding democratic principles, resolving disputes, and protecting the rights of individuals. The independence and integrity of the judiciary in Ghana contribute to the overall strength of the democratic system. Ghana's commitment to democracy, I must say, is not limited to its domestic achievements, but also extend to its regional and international engagements. The country has been actively involved in promoting democracy and good governance across Africa. Ghana has played a significant role in regional organizations such as the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, and the African Union, contributing to peacekeeping efforts, conflict resolution, and the promotion of democratic values in the region. In addition, Mr. Speaker, to these achievements, Ghana has also embraced decentralization, empowering local communities to participate in decision-making processes. This approach enhances citizen engagement and ensures that democracy is not limited to the national level, but also reaches grassroots levels, allowing for inclusive and participatory governance. The theme, Our Democracy, Our Pride, celebrate Ghana's democratic achievements, including peaceful transition of power, respect for human rights, gender equality, an independent judiciary, regional leadership, and active citizen participation. It serves as a reminder of the collective responsibility Ghanaians have in safeguarding and strengthening their democratic system. I have therefore come to believe that Ghanaians have made peace with democracy. Mr. Speaker, I will end here by calling on to Ghanaians that democracy is a being we must nourish to keep alive. Permit me to take that again. I will end here by calling on to Ghanaians that democracy is a being we must nourish to keep alive. It is our pride as a nation, and we must embrace it as a people. God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you, Honorable. This very insightful one. Thank you. So I'll move on to our next speaker. We have Honorable. Yes, so we have Honorable Dennis. Honorable Dennis, if you are here, you can unmute your submission. Honorable Dennis.
All right, well noted. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Right. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this wonderful opportunity to add my voice to this discussion. First of all, I would like to say a very good evening to my colleague, honorable members. And then I say Ayiko for the good work we are all doing for Mother Ghana. I'll proceed by saying, before the 6th March Independence Day, when the president revealed the theme, Our Democracy, Our Pride, for the celebration during the State of the Nation address, I was in full support of it. It was a very great opportunity and an appropriate theme for the occasion, given some of the emerging challenges to Ghana's democracy as captured by various group governance and democracy indices. Mr. Speaker, as well as surveys, notwithstanding our progress, I would make my submissions in two folds, the positive development and the negative developments. From the speech of the president, I gathered as the president list of the positive development about Ghana's democracy. 1, the free speech. 2, vigorous media. 3, use of the court for dispute resolution, which we all witnessed in the 2012 elections and then the 2020 elections, and an improvement in the conduct of elections. They are critical to a functioning democracy, and the president is right to point to them as positive development about Ghana's democracy. Mr. Speaker, take the media space, for example. When one compares our media landscape today with what it looked like at the beginning of the Fourth Republic, there is not just growth in number, but also a rich diversity of opinions that are shared across this expanded landscape. Honorable Speaker, the president noted this when he said, there is no danger of dissenting voices not being heard on any subject. It is the vigorous media that is making this happen. Honorable Speaker, Ghanaians have also come to appreciate this vigorous media space and express strong support for media rights and freedom in the most recent Afrobarometer survey 2022. 7 out of the 10, that is 70% Ghanaians, express support for media rights. Honorable Speaker, let's consider the 8 elections held so far. Many steps have been taken to improve the integrity of the process to ensure free and fair elections. It may be tempting to point to the 2 disputed elections, that the 2012 election and the 2020 election, as evidence of a flawed electoral system. I disagree that it was a flawed electoral system. These disputes, especially the 2012 one, offered us opportunities to address lapses in the electoral process, which the adjudication process laid bare. This result was an improvement in how the 2016 election was conducted. Honorable Speaker, related to the above point in the maturation of the choices of the court as the avenue for seeking redress or grievances by aggrieved parties in these election disputes, we are certainly no strangers to the violent resolution of election disputes in other countries, thus making our choice of the courts an important development for our democracy. Honorable Speaker, we are far from a perfect election system, but we have made great strides. I'll quickly outline some of the challenging developments born out of democracy or out of the democracy we are experiencing. The very thing the president pointed out as positive developments are also areas of current challenges we cannot ignore. Let me repeat the list from the previous sections and substantiate my point about why they are also areas of challenge for our democracy. 1, on free speech, there has been a 17 percentage point drop. That's in free speech. That's the Afrobarometer 2028 versus 2022. In the percentage of Ghanaians saying they are completely free to say what they think. And B, on a vigorous media, no more than 10% of Ghanaians say they trust information from both private and public media institutions. A lot. According to round 9, 2022 of the Afrobarometer survey, even as the president highlighted the use of our courts for dispute resolutions and the judicial systems, adherence to established rules and procedures, only 10% of Ghanaians say they trust the courts of law. A lot. As per Afrobarometer round 9, 2022, to put this in perspective, it represented a staggering 15% point decline when compared to Afrobarometer round 7 of the 2017. Now, and lastly, while the president celebrates improvement in the conduct of our elections, and rightly so, across 8 rounds of the Afrobarometer survey, only 44% of Ghanaians rate our elections as completely free and fair, 100% with our elections at free and fair, a sense one to us. These challenges are not raised to downplay the positive development noted by the president. Let me be categorical. As he said, when we look around our neighborhood, we might be tempted to think that our work is done. But we, Ghanaians, have never been known to settle for mediocrity. We aim for the best in every field. Honorable Speaker, this is exactly the spirit in which these challenges are being raised. To remind Ghanaians that despite the many positive developments in our democracy, there are real challenges that need urgent attention. As I've been saying over the last several weeks, I strongly encourage our political parties to make the challenges our democracy faces, and more importantly, how to address them, a central part of the 2024 election campaign. Remember, the only way we can keep our democracy, our pride, is to consolidate the gains, but also fix our challenges. As the president wants, we dare not relapse. Honorable Speaker, out of all what I've said, I think we as individuals has to also play a very role in improving our democracy and then making Ghana a strong nation that makes us have that pride that we are really Ghanaians. Thank you, Speaker.
Very well. Honorable Dennis for Honorable Daniel. Honorable Salifu Daniel, and make your submission. But just a quick question. Based on the just a quick question. Based on the submission, do you think that the youth today has a role to play in shaping our democracy and sustaining it? If yes, what are some of the roles that youth of today needs to play to sustain and shape our democracy?
Okay. Thank you for the question, Mr. Speaker. Yeah, yes. My answer is yes. The youth has a role in shaping our democracy. And the reason for the youth is before we can have a good and nice well-recognized democracy, the youth has to take their responsibilities to obey the 1992 Constitution, which stated each and everyone's rights in the Constitution. If we are able to follow these instructions as the youth, we will maintain the integrity of our country to promote the democracy. That is the answer to my question, Mr. Speaker. Before I begin my submission, democracy our 1957, Ghana became the first sub-Saharan African country to gain independence from their colonial rule, making it a significant milestone in the liberation struggle of the continent. The achievement of independence brought us with its sense of national identity, self-determination, and sovereignty. Self-determination and sovereignty. Our democracy stands a beacon of freedom, equality, and participating, embodying the collective aspiration and values of our society, Ghana. It serves as a testament to the resilience, progress, and inclusive of our nation, shaping our identity and fostering a sense of pride among Ghanaians. Mr. Speaker, democracy is recognized as well as a goal which is based on common values shared by people throughout the whole world, irrespective our culture, political background, social and economic difference. Mr. Speaker, democracy is to be pursued and mode governance to be applied according to the modalities which reflect the diversity of experience and cultural particularities without detrogation. Democracy is internationally recognized, a principles and norm which is standard to peaceful coexistence. Mr. Speaker, democracy stands as a pillar of our societal ethos, embodying the principles of equality, freedom, and self-governance that form the bedrocks of our collective identity. It serves as a source of pride, testimony to our commitment and inclusivity, justice, and the empowerment of every citizen. Here is one example. Looking at our democracy system in Ghana, in 1990,
you have 1 minute to conclude your submission. So
in
you may.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Our democracy ensures free participating in and choosing of your political party, which ensure free and fair election. Looking at the 1992, whereby Edu Boahini by the MPP lose, and despite the claims that he lose 1,000 votes, he came out with facts, which was proven that he won the election. But due to the democracy nature of our country, despite the court ruling against him as a loser, he came out with facts and titled a book, The Stolen Verdict, in 2000, which when you read the books, you realize that democracy is our pride as Ghanaians. Mr. Speaker, democracy ensures inclusivity and representation. Democracy ensures every voice is heard and everyone is represented in the decision-making process by the shape of our society. Looking at the Ghana political leaders.
Thank you so much, Honorable Salif Daniel, for your submission. Yes, honorable members, if you just join us, this is the Youth Digest series of Youth Empowerment Consortium. My name is Right Honorable Thomas Kofi, and I'm your moderator for tonight. We are discussing our democracy, our pride, live on Facebook. Yes, Honorable Albert Tekpete. Honorable Albert Tekpete, if you can hear me, kindly unmute yourself and make your submission in 5 minutes. Honorable Albert Tekpete. Okay, so if Honorable Anafu Gideon, if you are here, kindly unmute yourself and make your submission. Honorable Anafu Gideon. Honorable members, we are taking the speakers on the flyer first. So once we exhaust them, we will take comment from other honorable members who are not speakers on the flyer but want to make a submission. So we want to exhaust speakers on the flyers members who are not. So that is just by the way. Honorable Albert Tekpete, if you can hear me, can you unmute yourself? Well, Honorable Tete Isaac, if Honorable, can make your submission brief in 5 minutes. Very well. Honorable Apia, Honorable Daniel Apia, if you are here, kindly unmute yourself and make your submission in brief. Yes, I think we've exhausted speakers on the flyer. I will now give the opportunity to other honorable members who are not on the flyers to have a bite. The topic for discussion is our democracy, our pride. And so if you want to have a bite, kindly raise your hand. I will just call you and then you make your submission in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes. Very well. So I can see Honorable Mate Wisdom. I don't know if that is the right name. Honorable Mate Wisdom.
Yeah, Honorable Right Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity given me to express my view on the topic, our democracy, our pride. I do remember, according to Abraham Lincoln, he said something about democracy. He said it's the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And in simple terms, we say that taking the views of the masses into consideration on national and local issues. So as Ghana stands as a shining example where democracy has become a political system and a source of collective pride. So as we reflect on our democratic journey, it becomes evident that the pillars of freedom, equality, and participation have fortified our identity as a nation. Honorable Speaker, our democracy is born out of the struggles and aspirations of many. And this tells us that the resilience of our own spirit as Ghanaian. Over the years, it has weathered storms, evolved, and become a beacon of hope for those aspiring to embrace self-governance. Our own Papa, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, echoed years ago that self-government now. And I wish to ask, are we self-governance? Are we self-reliant? Are we indeed independent? We acknowledge the voices of the people that echo in the House of Parliament, on the street, the technocrat, the layperson, and even the vibrant public discourse. The power to elect leaders, the freedom to express opinions, and the pursuit of justice are the threads that weave our democratic fabric. Our democratic journey is marked by the commitment to inclusivity, where every citizen, regardless of your background, political affiliations, religion, or even tribe, plays a role in shaping the nation's destiny. Right, Honorable Speaker? It is in the diversity of our voices that the strength of our democracy resides, fostering a society that thrives on dialogue, jovial understanding, and unity. As leaders and subordinates, the pride we take in our democracy extends far beyond the ballot box on December 7th every year. It encompasses the protection of human rights, the rule of law, separation of powers, and the institutions that safeguard the principles we hold dear to our heart. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the time to throw more light on our democracy, our pride. I'm honored.
Very well. Honorable Mate Wisdom for such a wonderful submission. Yeah, so I can see Honorable Mohammed Mubarak. Honorable Mohammed Mubarak, if you can unmute yourself, make your submission in 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you. I think I'm quite impressed with the speeches delivered by various speakers. But then, what I've seen is not actually a true reflection of what we think as youth, because our thinking as to how our democracy has grown or not depends on how we feel. But what I've observed is that most of the speakers, for lack of a better word, just did their own research, came and read pieces to us that they have researched and gotten. But then it's more defined in when you speak based on what you have felt than what somebody has seen and put on social media or Google. Basically, our democracy is growing, is still growing. When you look at our first Republican Constitution in 1960 up to 1992, we have evolved and a lot has happened. But then there are some key things that defines democracy. I don't want to go deep into what A.B. Dicey said, but then what I know is for a democracy to be considered enough as right, it must solve three key things. One, it must grant you that independence, both economic and sovereignty enough. In recent times, there is a family value bill that is before Parliament. Government doesn't want to pass it, not because the government of the day supports that homosexuality, whatever you want to call it, but then they are looking at the economic implications to the country. So is our democracy enough when we have to depend on other people to look at the economic implications of our country when we have our own values that should be part of our democratic growth? When you look at our constitution, I don't want to go deep, but Act 29, Section 296, the Constitution through that act has prescribed punishment for offenders. And corruption is one of the offenses Act 29, Section 29, Section 296, subsection 5 talks more about. When you are corrupt, when you are a public officer and you are caught corrupt, you can be jailed up to 25 years. 25 solid years. Recently, those of you who are from Northern, you know the Sada Jida issue. Gilbert Idi and Abu Gapele. Broad-day corruption. The court could only convict them for 3 years. So imagine if somebody stole in excess of 5 million Ghana cedi and go to jail for 3 years. When the Constitution of the Republic says you can jail the person up to 25 years. Imagine us giving them the maximum sentences. The recent 2021 Auditor General report confirmed that Ghana lost in excess of 21 billion Ghana cedis just on corruption in 2 years. 21 billion. We are going to IMF to just get little over $3 billion. Imagine if we are able to look at the democracy, factor it into our laws, and give maximum sentences to offenders, not just stealers, forgos, ships, and armed robbers, but stealers who take the pride of the nation. And that is what we've not been able to do over the period. And that is why, despite the fact that we are a democratic state, our affairs have been dictated to by foreigners, IMF, World Bank, and donor partners. And that is why today Ghana is 67 or so. People are still worried as to whether we are really free or not.
Very well. Thank you so much, Honorable Mubarak, for a wonderful submission. I'll take 2 more, and then I'll allow senior members in the House. I can see the majority leader, Honorable Haruna Tajuddin, in our midst. Honorable Kaiser Raphael, the minority whip, also in our midst, who doubles as the top intern, also in our midst. We'll take bites from them, and then we'll end today's discussion. So I'll take 2 more honorable members. Yeah, so I'll take Honorable Colin, if you can hear me, can you unmute yourself and make your submission in brief?
Okay, the chair and the house. Good evening to us all. I would like to kindly explain the key words over here, the democracy and then the pride. And then when we talk about the democracy, is a system of government in which the people hold the power rather than a small group of people or a single ruler. And when we talk about the pride, is the feeling that you are also participating in something or your voice is making a change in the society or where you are. And I might say a democracy is really our pride because it wasn't an easy thing for us to be independent. And then to continue, as Ghanaians, we need a lot to do before we can really say democracy is our pride, because we are facing challenges like corruption, poverty, inequality, discrimination in our society. And that's why I explained the word pride over there. The feeling that our voices are making a change, we are not getting it much, and we need more to do. So as youth of Ghanaian, we need to push more, fight for our rights, and add our voice more, push our voice more so that our voice can make a change in our society. Thank you all. Good evening to us all.
Thank you for your submission. So I'll take Honorable Anna for Gideon. I can see your hand is up, but then I don't know how you are not talking. Honorable Anna, for you're part of the speakers on the flyer. Yes. So for you, yes. Yes, doesn't make your submission. Honorable, if you can hear me, can you proceed? Well, I think we lost Honorable Anna for. So I'll take Smiler. Yes. Akudugu Smiler. Honorable Akudugu Smiler. Yes,
Right, Honorable Speaker and the House. Right, Honorable Speaker in the House, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. I want to first of all salute the earlier speakers for the massive and the very deep, in-depth presentations. Yes, with the assessing that is Ghana actually independent or not? For me, I would say Ghana is actually independent because we have the evidences and the structures that are in place to actually prove that Ghana is independent. However, it's left with certain challenges that our behavior and because of our selfish interests have made it difficult to really surface the evidences that Ghana is independent. When you look at it, Ghana has gained independence from our colonial masters on the 6th March 1957, which was the first evidence in Saharan Africa. And it is a milestone in the fight against colonialism, which means that we are not under colonialism anymore. So that is the fact that we are independent. Apart from that, we have democratic governance. And when we talk about democratic governance, we are saying that Ghana has a long-standing tradition of democratic governance since independence. And we have held regular, free, fair, and elections since the adoption of multi-party democracy in 1992. We are not running a single party system. We have multi-party democracy, which we conduct free, fair, regular elections to make sure that everybody participates and make a voice in our decision making. Apart from that, we have a framed constitution, a constitution that provides separation of power between or among the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary, which guarantees the fundamental human rights and freedom of citizens. So apart from that, when we conduct elections, there is free transfer and peaceful transfer of power. We don't have wars or conflicts after elections. There's free, fair transfer of power. We respect rule of law. There are strong commitments to the rule of law, which is with the independent judiciary that upholds the constitution and protects the rights of the citizens. So with these evidences and many more, there are testimonies that Ghana is actually independent, notwithstanding the challenges that we face. And with the challenges, we have to put in place our attitudinal changes and respect the structures to ensure that we are actually independent. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable Akudugu Smiler, for such a wonderful. Honorable member, I'll take the last person. I can see Honorable Godson. Honorable Godson, if you are with us.
Good evening, Honorable Speaker.
You have 2 minutes. Kindly become precise.
Honorable Speaker, please, can I proceed?
Yes. I mean, you should be brief. Proceed in brief.
Good evening, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable. Yes, kindly proceed.
Hello.
Yes, Honorable Godson, kindly proceed. Very well. I think we lost Honorable Godson. We lost him. Now, members, I now move to our senior members in the House. We have Honorable Kaiser Raphael, the top intern. And then I'll take final bite from our majority leader in the person of Honorable Haruna Tajuddin. So, Honorable Kaiser, if you are with us, kindly unmute yourself and have a bite on today's topic.
Thank you very much, Speaker, and good evening to everyone. I think the discussion has been fruitful and good so far. I think people may have issues with my opinion on this topic, but on national TV, I have already stated my position on our kind of democracy. What we practice in Ghana is not democracy. It is a form of imperialism disguised as democracy. Why do I say this? We are only being made aware of the fact that there is freedom of speech, freedom of expression, but look at best practices across the world. There are other countries that do not practice democracy, but these things are available in them. So that doesn't give credence to the things that we are practicing. Again, we speak of separation of powers. But here is my question for you. Do you even think we actually practice separation of powers in this country? We don't. A case can be in the Supreme Court, and before the verdict comes out, the president has stated the position of the court, and the court will give the ruling, and it's the same. We are in the same country. Every government in office wins every case the opposition takes to court. How do you tell me this is true separation of powers? Even in recent times, the executive of our country is not allowing parliament to do its work, the legislature. And we are priding ourselves that we practice a democracy. Speaker, we don't. Truthfully, I don't see what is there to be proud of in democracy. People that I would rather be a citizen in UAE, in Qatar, in Dubai, in that autocracy than be in the democracy of Ghana. Speaker, in wrapping up, like I said, my opinions on this subject are very, very unpopular, but then that is what I feel. We vote for MPs based on our constituencies, for them to go to parliament and take decisions on our behalf. The MPs do not consult us as constituencies. However, as constituents, if they want to make decisions, they make decisions based on what their party, the line their party is towing. Typical example, we have majority MPs who had a press conference, told all of us as Ghanaians that the finance minister is not doing well. vote of censorship is taken to parliament, and these same people stage a walkout because their party brought out a letter and told them no one should do this. So it is, we are practicing the definition of democracy people keep giving. This is government of the party, for the party, and of the party. If you don't belong to the party, you are sidelined. We practice a democracy where we pay for everything from MPs, DCs, all the way to the president. But they don't serve our interest. Look at the deals they signed for us. Look at the manhole that has been dug for us in the name of National Cathedral. And we are paying for it, even though we are not having anything tangible. These are things we are saying we are practicing in a democracy. Now tell me, all the people who complain about this, what has the president done about it? He has his party defending everything. So this is simply government of the party, for the party, and of the party. In wrapping up, finally, I'm just trying to admonish young politicians out there. As you step into politics or in this consultative assembly of ours, if you get the opportunity, let's speak truth to power. Let's not make people feel as though things are okay. The things are not okay. The things that we expect to see in a democracy are not. The example I'll give to that is the Prime Minister of UK, which we owe money, rides a bicycle to work. He is on time and punctual. But then in Ghana, we have to use a motorcade, sirens, use 5 dispatch riders, block everybody on the way so that the MP who is late for parliament will get to parliament. We've made politicians better class citizens than those of us who actually give them power. So for me, there is nothing to be proud about in this democracy. All we can say is we thank God that we are alive. We have not been consumed by this democracy so far. Thank you.
Very well. Honorable Kaiser Raphael. I cannot mention your name without attaching the top intent. So that is our top intent bite on the topic. Thank you so much for your submission. Yeah, so we'll take our last speaker, Honorable Tajuddin, Honorable Haruna Tajuddin, the majority leader. Honorable leader, if you can hear me, can you unmute yourself and make your submission? Then.
Thank you so much. I'm having network challenges. I don't know if I can be heard.
Yes, you can be here. Yes, you can be heard.
Thank you so much. I personally would like to thank honorable members, especially those who ran research on this topic and have done a lot of training this evening. I think I've learned a lot from their submissions. If I'm going to keep saying, so all that we keep saying, kept hearing from the time I just that basically we are enjoying, we are not getting what we want. Why? Because of the kind of we had, and as you come to us, it gives us a lot of insights. And so as we live today, the only thing I will say is as we live today, we should be thinking about the kind of leaders we want to be tomorrow. Hello, I don't know if I can be heard.
Yes, I think we at the point we can hardly hear you. If you could position yourself well, and then yes, kindly position yourself well and come back. Yeah, so honorable, you can proceed. If
okay, I think he has left. Maybe
okay.
He's here to join again. Okay,
hello.
He has joined. Yeah.
Can I be heard?
Yes. So kindly proceed.
So in 1 minute, all I was saying was that as all along when I joined quite late because of the network situation currently where I am. And all I kept hearing was that we are practically not enjoying democracy and independence, but theoretically we have it. And we all kept blaming it on the kind of leadership we have. So I was saying that as youth yearning to become leaders of tomorrow's Ghana, then this is an insight. This is a wake-up call to each and every one of us. That's all that I want to say. That as we live today, all that we are saying now, what do we do as youth now to either make the difference and prepare ourselves towards assuming power tomorrow? Because if we keep quiet, or if we just consider it as normal, the godfathers will keep on recruiting people and Ghana will keep on sinking. Because if you look around, all those who assume power are people who are close to power. So this is something that is also worrying. If we are suffering today because of the kind of leaders we have, then what do we do to ensure tomorrow is better? Speaking is one, as we are doing here, but aside speaking, what do we do so people like you and I, who probably might do better, will get a chance to get close? Because those who are actually getting close and looking like they will assume those offices are the people who believe in the same ideology we are speaking against this evening. So what do we do? This is a wake-up call to all of us as we close this meeting this evening. I just want to remind us all, and also to thank us all for making up time to attend, because my network is not good, so I might not be able to speak again. So I thank all honorable members for making up time to join. But as we go to sleep, we should start thinking about what to do to get close to power or to make influences towards ensuring Ghana is better for all of us. Thank you, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, the majority leader, for such a wonderful closing remark. Yes, honorable members, time check is 8:36. Before I bring GS in, I want to thank you all for availing yourself and participating in this wonderful and insightful discussion, most especially our flyers, our speakers on the flyer, and then other honorable members who also aired out their views. I want to indicate that it has been a very fruitful, insightful, and inspiring discussion. I am particularly impressed, and I must say that we should keep it up. We used to say that we are the future leaders. This time, I will say we are the leaders today and tomorrow. And so therefore, we have a country and a continent to build. Whatever we are doing today, we should keep in mind that if we are given the nod tomorrow, we should practice and implement things that we used to talk about, things that we think that our leaders are not doing right when we get to those strategic places. So basically, I want to say that if you are given the opportunity today to perform a task and you are not able to perform it willingly to the satisfaction of the people under your purview, don't think that when you get to the up there, or when you are given strategic position in future, you'll be able to, execute your duties very well. So let us keep it up. Whenever we call for discussions like this, let us come together and then air out our view. That said, I want to thank you all once again for participating in this very important discussion. So GS, if you are here, you can come in and then bring your closing remark whilst we end today's discussion. Thank you so much.
Right, Honorable Speaker, your top intent today was too political.
Very well noted, Honorable.
Speaker, I wasn't political. He can go and check my opinions on even the top intent program. I still haven't dissented from my stance.
Yes, I but then most of the things are not entirely the case.
Yes. So GS, if you are here, kindly come in and then we can end the meeting. I don't know if GS is still with us. Well, I think we lost GS. I want to thank you all for again participating in this very important discussion. At this juncture, I will end the call, end the meeting by saying good night as all. Bye-bye.
Tom Intent, can you sidebar me?